our story, Phil maintained control of the airplane while responding to the engine failure. He feathered the prop and secured the inoperative engine. Let's see what happens next.
Left engine. Feathered.
Feathered.
Okay, get out the checklist. Let's go through the checklist real quick. Okay, we're holding good. I've got 110 knots, confirm. I've got the immediate actions done. Drop, confirm, all done. I'm gonna go to the left mags, confirm left mags. Left mags are off. Fuel pumps are off. I'll go ahead and secure the left fuel. That's complete. Fuel panel's complete.
Go ahead.
Okay, talk to me. What do you got?
Okay, let's secure the left engine mixture.
Mixture back.
Okay, fuel selector.
Fuel selector's off.
Left auxiliary pump.
Left auxiliary pump is off.
Left magnetos.
Confirm left mags. Confirm and punch. Okay, good.
And airspeed.
Okay, we're gonna again keep it above blue line at 100. Looks good.
Atomic at 76 November Alpha, we're losing an engine, sir. We'd like vectors direct to Winchester. If you could possibly do that, sir, we sure would appreciate it. Okay, roger that. Now we've attempted restart, unable. We're going to be a single engine approach into Winchester.
Okay, guys, you can see we've got a little bit of a problem going on back there. This engine's dead, but we're pretty close to a good runway out here. And I think we'll probably just navigate on there. You can see the other engine's operating very nicely, so we're in good shape.
Are we going to be able to land?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to hold the gear, okay, until we get in a lot closer. Is that all right? You like that? And we're not going to use flaps. Okay, if you want to start with the single engine checklist for landing, let's see how we're doing on it.
Okay. Airspeed.
Airspeed, we're going to keep it above blue line 96 to 100.
Okay, and we're going to keep the landing gear up for now.
We're going to keep it up till we're on final, then we'll select it down.
Once we have the landing assured, we want the airspeed at 80.
Once the runway is assured, we'll bring both the throttles back and land, okay?
Okay, and your power's good for now.
Okay, thank you very much. You got the airfield out there?
I have it.
We'll set up for a downwind.
Want the checklist again?
Yeah, go ahead and give it to me as we're beaming the intended point of landing, okay?
Okay.
I'll put the gear down there. We should be all good to go.
How's your airspeed?
Very nice. We got 20 knots on.
Landing gear.
Landing gear handle coming down.
Okay, you got the runway in sight over there. We're all clear on final.
Clear on final.
Looks good to go. A little bit fast. I'm gonna bring the throttle back a little. She seems to be acting kind of funny. We're getting too much airspeed. Like I don't have enough drag or something. All right, extend the final. We're looking pretty good. I'm bringing the power back. We're way faster than knots. I don't understand this.
Bill, the gear.
The gear. What's up?
No gear.
I don't think we've got gear. Not looking good, is it?
No.
What do you think?
You got any ideas?
I'm sure some of our viewers know exactly what's going on. Shall we let the rest of the audience in on the secret? Okay. The gear and flaps on the PA-23 are hydraulically actuated. Some general aviation twins are equipped with redundant hydraulic systems that feature a hydraulic pump on each engine. As it happens, the PA-23 has only one hydraulic pump, and that's right, you guessed it, the pump is on the left engine. There's another way to get hydraulic pressure, but that involves extending a pump handle and manually pumping the gear and flaps down. That can take more than 50 cycles of the pump handle. Not exactly something you want to do on short final. Phil followed the manufacturer's single engine landing procedure to wait until the landing was assured to put the flaps and gear down. But the POH also has a procedure to check the hydraulic pump before a single engine landing. Had he done that, he would have known that the gear and flaps would have to be extended manually. Armed with that knowledge, he could have flown a little higher on final and manually extended the gear and flaps in plenty of time to land. As it is now, Phil only has two choices, and neither one is good. He can continue the approach and land gear up, or he can do a single engine go-around. It's a common axiom of flight that when you lose an engine on a light twin, you can lose up to 80% of your climb power. That means go-around performance will be meager, and obstacle clearance could pose a very big problem. Phil has some things going for him, though. It's day VFR, the airport elevation is relatively low, and there's no higher terrain in the airport vicinity, so a go-around could work. On the other hand, a single engine stall at low altitude could turn an expensive landing into a total disaster. It doesn't matter which unattractive option Phil chose. I'm sure you'll agree it's important to know your airplane and to be far enough ahead of it to avoid being forced into a situation that offers no good choices. So, let's review our story and define some key points. Phil was interested in exposing his son to as many aspects of airplane ownership and operation as possible, with the reasonable expectation that the better pilots understand their airplane, the safer those pilots will be. Junior's not so interested in the mechanical end of the business, though, and that makes it easier to accept interruptions that distract him from the job at hand. That's not good at any time, but especially when one is learning a task. I'm sure you'll agree that Phil and Kevin were distracted by interruptions too, but they're more experienced than Junior, and they followed a procedure to make sure nothing was forgotten. Even so, the turnover of work from Kevin to Phil was hurried and ultimately inadequate. It's likely that the oil filter on the left engine was never torqued or secured with safety wire, and it worked its way loose during the flight, depleting the oil supply and causing the engine failure. Exercising what he felt was an abundance of caution, Phil made a post-maintenance test flight before taking passengers on board. The manufacturer doesn't require a test flight, though, just a run-up and leak check before returning the aircraft to service. Would a thorough check after run-up have revealed the under-torqued filter? We don't know. But we do know that there was a second opportunity to discover the problem during pre-flight for the return trip. Everyone was under some pressure to keep a schedule, though, and that may have led to a less than thorough pre-flight inspection. One more thing before we talk about the return flight. Do you remember Kevin saying something about the oil filters before he left to meet his customer?
We're almost finished up here. Junior could help you out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Just put the filter on the workbench.
Okay.
And I'll inspect it when I get back this afternoon. I got the logbooks in my truck.
Good.
So after I'm done, I'll come back and fill out that as well.
Best practices for maintenance call for an inspection of the oil filter elements after each oil change. This requires a tool to open the oil filter. Then the filter can be unrolled and inspected. It's a messy job, but it could reveal bits of metal trapped in the filter, and that could be a red flag warning that all is not right with the engine. Let's see what happened when Kevin inspected the filters.
Oh no, it's not even close to be good. Phil, pick up.
Hi, this is Phil. I'm out.
Oh, perfect.
Message.
Phil, this is Kevin. Wherever you are when you get this, don't fly the plane. One of the engines are producing a lot of metal, and I don't know which one because they weren't labeled. We need to do an inspection to, you know what, don't even try to fly the plane. Don't even turn it on. Just give me a call as soon as you get this, okay?
Oh my. Now we're not at all sure what happened to make the engine fail. But I will tell you this. Each one of the possible causes we've discussed has contributed to multiple cases of engine failure and subsequent accidents. That certainly makes the case for quality, consistent, compliant maintenance and inspection of our flying machines. With that in mind, let's leave the maintenance realm and talk about the flying. Phil and Val work really well together. They've obviously practiced their interaction and they communicate well and effectively. We don't know how they plan for the unexpected, though. Professionals and many practiced GA pilots as well vocalize takeoff and climb out, approach and landing expectations. They state the runway length, critical airspeeds, route, altitude, and what they'll do if a problem develops. That can help a lot when an engine quits on climb out. You've already vocalized that you'll immediately lower the pitch and the power to maintain directional control. As we've discussed before, the engine failed at just about the worst possible time, during climb with full power on the right engine. Phil was startled by the event, and it took some time for him to gain control of the situation. Had he been a little slower, though, the flight could have ended right there in a classic roll, stall, spin, crash scenario. Phil encountered another nasty surprise on final approach. If he had considered what had to happen for the flaps and gear to function, he would have prepared for the manual extension and avoided the second startle response. A vocalization of approach and landing expectations could have helped here too. It's a good idea for pilots of any retractable gear airplanes to anticipate what they'll do if the normal gear extension system fails. Regular proficiency flying and vocalizing what ifs will help to manage the startled response and to ensure that you do the right thing when you're faced with surprises. Finally, I hope you feel, as I do, that the characters in this story are well-motivated, intelligent people who are just trying to do a good job. They, and in fact most pilots, would never put themselves intentionally in situations that would lead to emergencies. But with a little coaching and proficiency training, we can all be better, safer pilots, and that benefits everyone who flies with us, also our neighbors on the ground. Thank you all for being members of our general aviation safety community, and best wishes from your FAA safety team for many more happy and safe hours in the air.